Welcome to the Northumberland County Farmers Market Podcast. I'm Rebecca, also known as the Naughty Jam Lady. Welcome back. Okay, the last weekend was absolutely bonkers. I'm just going to say I have been gallivanting about. I have seen so many new markets, I just can't get over it. Anyway, if you would like to sponsor the Northumberland County Farmers Market Podcast, you are more than welcome to message me on Instagram at NoCoFM_podcast, or you can send me an email with that same NoCoFM_podcast at hotmail.com. And sponsorship comes in two ways. You can sponsor the show. I can do a cute commercial for you. Or if you'd like, you can join me as my co-host. Now, the second one does cost more, but that's only because that's a lot more editing for me. But it's a great way to let people know, I have a birthday announcement, anniversary, a new business is opening. You can also do I'm going to be at this market here and when, or you can be oh, there's a huge event happening in the park. I don't really mind what it's for as long as it's ethical. I'm in. Anyway, I finally got to the market in the park in Port Hope. Oh my gosh, I chose quite possibly the windiest day to go. And so because of it, I had to put up my rain guards because my hair was like this and then my shirt was up here and I'm oh, I'm going to be indecent in public in a minute. So it got a little hectic for me. So I put those up, worked out much better, I must say. That's a pretty big market, a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It wraps all the way around Memorial Park. Now it starts at the band shell. I was smart when I got there. I was watching for Josh Clark of Clark Blossoms, and was like, where you setting up, Josh? Because he's been there before. He's one of the helpers and stuff. He's Signe Langford's assistant director, if you will. So when I saw him set up beside the band shell, I was like, I'm going to go set up beside Josh, because I bet you it's a lot quieter there and it's in the shade and that's a good spot. So I did. And you know what? Not a bad spot. It was very windy, but aside from that, it was a good spot. It had a good mix of vendors, which was really nice. There was chunky knit blankets. There was produce, authors. There was 2 different authors there. I was shocked. Lemonade, handheld cakes, and strawberries with chocolate drizzle, which I thought was very cute. And I should have got some because I bet you I could have eaten that, which is a cute thing because they also do cultivate in the park at the same time. So there was, I think music started about 6:30, and there were 2 openers. The second opener's name was Bradley. He looked like he had just fallen out of a 1990s movie, and he was starring alongside Devon Sawa. Because his hair was all coiffured and stuff. He looked like Jason Ritter, quite honestly. Anyway, he sang second. And then Schoolhouse was the main headliner, and they have quite a little following. I had 2 of their fans come over to my table, and they just could not stop extolling the virtues of the band. And then hilariously, Barb, the woman I talk about all the time on this podcast, it was her nephew. Her nephew is one of the lead singers / guitarists of Schoolhouse. So primarily they play, I think, in Ottawa, but she was like, come, Rebecca, come see my nephew. I'm like, oh, Barb, I'll go anywhere you tell me to. So Barb was there and she was shaking her little groove thing, which was fun. All in all, that market was very cute. I will say the market starts at 3:00 in the afternoon. So there's no parking around the market at that time because you get there at 2 to set up, and a matinee has just started at the Capitol Theater. So there's no parking anywhere. So I was parked illegally for a long time, just unloading my truck. Eventually I went and found a spot, but and then it was very slow. But I get it. People still work. Just because it's summertime doesn't mean people don't work, right? So it was very slow till about 5. But while I was there, I met some really interesting people. I met 2 young women who were late teens, early 20s. And I called them the mini popo because they are volunteering. They're doing like a police initiative where eventually they're going to be police officers. So they're like police in training. So they're mini popo. And I said I like that there were women doing it because I think more police officers should be women because I feel like women are much better at negotiation. And also, as long as they don't act like the men on the force, it's a lot better to come into contact with a female police officer. At least in my view, it is. And then this other woman walked up to me and she had on a really pretty long dress and she was wearing like a tiara. And the tiara had beautiful stones in it and it matched her dress perfectly. It looked so nice. I was like, this is a vibe. And she got a tiara from Enchanted by Louisa, who I saw there. Louisa had some great stuff. She had great little crowns and tiaras, but she also had like, they were like cardigans, but more cape. She had capes, there we go, made of like scarf material or cotton, thin cotton. It was very beautiful. I wish I had got more time, but every time I went around to like check out the other vendors, I would turn around and someone be at my booth. So I was like, oh, I guess I got to go sell jam. You know what I mean. Anyway, I think I got to Louisa and she was the last one I got to see that day. But overall, I would say it was a very slow market, but very good because I sold the same numbers there as I did. It was comparable to Coburg Farmers Market, which is my top tier market. And that's everything. That's the one I base everything on. So that was a good market after all. At 8 o'clock when the market closed was when a whole bunch of people walked over. I had already put away my tasters. It was 8 o'clock. I had already been there since 2. I was ready to go home. And then a bunch of people got up after the show and walked over and I had the jams in boxes, for goodness sakes. They started picking them out of the boxes. They're like, oh, lavender sounds lovely. And I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm like, yeah, you can buy them if you want. Like I put away the testers and they were like, that's fine, dear. And then and I was like, okay. So I sold 8 more jams and that is what pushed me over where I was like, this is a good market. I would definitely go back. And I have to tell you, my best interaction of the weekend happened at Market in the Park. Thursdays, Port Hope, 3 until 8. It's in Memorial Park, just to be clear. A white guy was married to an East Asian woman, and I warned him my apple jalapeno jam is quite spicy, and he was all like, "Oh, it's not a problem for me and my man, blah blah blah," right? And his wife was like, "No, he'll be fine. Like seriously, my family loves to tease me because I, as an East Asian woman, should be the one who can handle heat, and I can't." And I just said, that's actually pretty on brand, though. A guy culturally appropriating. I had never talked to those people before. I don't think they were really quite expecting me to be so much like me. But they laughed, and they thought that was very funny, specifically the wife. And the husband was kind of like, but, I'm out there to make the ladies smile. That's my job these days. So then on Saturday, I went to Campbellford Farmers Market. And oh my gosh. Okay, did you ever see the movie Labyrinth with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly? Do you remember I think he was supposed to be a worm, the blue worm on the ledge. I love him. I'm going to buy him. I'm going to find him somewhere and I'm going to buy him for myself for Christmas. And I'm going to put him on my mantle because that in my mind is peak adulting, is finally getting the creatures that you always wanted when you were little. Anyway, okay, she's on Instagram as at Creature Corner. My mouth just did a funny noise. Creature Corner _CO. It is a tiny... It's a little mushroom. It's such a cute little mushroom. Look, it's even got like a little belly button. Isn't that adorable? Anyway, that's what it reminded me of. And I was like, that's actually pretty good work. She's glazed it nicely. The detail on the face is actually really good. And hold on, I'm trying to hold it up nicely to the camera. Hold on. There, you can see it a little better in the dark. Anyway, isn't that adorable? It's so tiny. And when I brought it home, my son was like, mine? And I'm like, no, seagull from Finding Nemo. It is not yours. It is mine. Because he famously takes everything from me. Anyway, I got that. I think it's adorable. It was not expensive at all. I think it was like $10 or something. But I mean, imagine the amount of work that went into this. And I only say that because I tried to make like a clay ghost during the winter at some point, and just trying to get it to go in the right shape took forever. Anyway, it's definitely like a skill that you have to master. So I bought that, loved it, and this time I got to meet Zen. So Ava is the organic farmer who was beside me at the Campbellford Farmers Market, and she's married to Zen, who is so aptly named. He's an adorable little Asian man, and he was wearing like white linen, and he looked like a monk. And he said, "Hi, I'm Zen." And I said, "Of course you are." And he got my sense of humor by the end of the day, so it was fine. And he made kimchi again, which I bought. This time he made cucumber kimchi with like Asian cucumbers. Delicious. It wasn't salty. It was just spiced perfectly. And I brought it home to share with my husband, and I ate all of it. But that's how it goes sometimes. Jim couldn't have eaten that. It's way too spicy for him. I had that, and it was delicious. The whole day we had great weather. It was beautiful. I also bought zucchini from them. Tulip the book fairy was adorable. She was there. The kids were all surrounding her. And I met a very pro-feminist dad, which was highly entertaining because it kind of came out of nowhere. And if you're like, Beck, these interactions don't actually happen in real life, babe, they do. They happen to me all the time, and I don't even initiate them, okay? This woman came over to my table, and she goes, "Oh, don't even get me started." And she's there with like a friend and her husband. And the friend was like, well, she's afraid of her daughter. And I said, "Oh, I like that." And she goes, no, she's like scary. And I'm like, well, how old's your daughter? And she's like, the husband perked up and he's like, she's in her early 30s. And I'm like, good. We like a good scary girl. There should be more scary girls in the world. He's like, right. I love a good feminist. I think there should be more feminism. And I'm sad that it's starting to go downhill a little bit. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, there's not as many feminists as there used to be. And I'm like, sir, we are busy selling gym and reading smutty books right now. We are gathering our forces and our strength, and we are doing what we can. And so anyway, he was wearing like a Lady Gaga t-shirt, but it was so worn that I thought it was Sporty Spice. But I mean, same vibe. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so that was one of the funny interactions I had on Saturday. And I think he left a little bit more confident in the future of the female race. So, or maybe he's terrified of it now. Who knows, right? Okay, so while I was there on Saturday at the Campbellford Farmers Market, 9 till 1, 66 Front Street South, I went over to Studio Grace, which is that beautiful woman I talked about before. She's really elegant, like classically elegant, and she has all kinds of homemade jewelry. And she uses like huge rocks, like these big, beautiful shards of stones that are exquisite. And I decided that I had to buy a necklace for my great-grandmother-in-law. Did I say that strange? My great-grandmother-in-law. Yeah, no, I said that right. Her name is Ella. Ella is 94. And a little bit of a local legend. Most of the cops know her because she drives like a maniac. But anyway, Ella's had a car, an Aveo, for 22 years. And she generally uses it to drive. She lives in Baltimore. She uses it to drive into Coburg, go to the bingo, get her nails done. Sometimes she'll do a little shoppy shop at Giant Tiger. Like that's her vibe, right? Anyway, my car has been without air conditioning. Sorry, I just sat on Sookie's butt. That's why I moved like that. My car's been without air conditioning since like October. So I finally got it into the shop to get fixed, and I had borrowed Ella's car. Now, I had the car for Thursday, no problem, everything's fine. Then the dealership said, oh, we need your car one more day. The part didn't come in. I said, that's fine, guys, that's fine. I'm driving Ella's car on Friday. It's like 9:15 in the morning. My husband is sitting in the passenger seat. This is a very important part of the story, okay? We get onto the highway. This is the first trip on the highway I've made since I had the car. I was using all back routes before this. And I get all the way up to speed, something the car did not want to do. I got into the slow lane, then I bumped over to the fast lane. Power drops. I'm like, oh, and I feel it immediately. I know. I'm like, oh, car's out of power. So I immediately put on like the safety blinkers, pull over into the soft lane. That's what I call the slow lane. Sometimes it's the soft lane. And then I pulled over onto the side of the road. You know what I'm talking about. Of course, I can't find the word for that, but you know what I mean. I pull right off into the ditch pretty much, and we call CAA. The car won't start. The serpentine belt went, or something died, but I killed it. I killed it dead. And after a quick diagnosis at the car dealership, that car will nary run again. So then I had to apologize. And I said, I'm so sorry I killed your car. And she's like, I'm 94 and I can't see anymore. It's fine. And I'm like, it's not fine. I know it's not fine. I can tell. And then her back went out last week. So I was like, you know what? The old gal's had a bit of a rough run. I'm going to get her something sparkly. Because that's the kind of gals we are. When things are going rough, you get each other sparkly things. So I bought her a beautiful necklace from Studio Grace, and she called me today, and she told me how much she loved it. I said, I'm sorry, Ella, I couldn't find a bag big enough for a car. And she said, that's okay, Beck. I figured you couldn't buy me a luxurious car anyway. This'll do. And I said, okay, thank you so much. So that's what happened with Ella's car. I feel awful about it, but she got something sparkly out of the deal, so that's a plus. And then Sunday, we did Christmas in July at Codrington Farmers Market from 10 till 1 at 2992 County Road 30 in Codrington. The drive up to that market, by the way, if you haven't been, is spectacular. Sheep, cows, turkeys, rabbits. There were so many bunnies on the road this week. Not on the road, like that would be devastating. I mean, like on the sides. Horses, sheeps. It's a really cute drive. I really enjoy it. It's like the thing I should be doing every week, living in the country, is going for a country drive. Except I drive to make the money, and then I drive to bring home the money. Works for me. Anyway, Christmas in July at Codrington, people had like decorations up, and it was the hottest day of the year, I think, in my opinion. I wore a ghost Christmas t-shirt. In the true rebellious nature that I have. And I guess it was a pretty busy market. I schwitzed like unbelievably. I even took 2 fans with me, and I lent one to my friend Tina, who does like drapery and like table fashions, if you will. You know what I mean? Like table runners and placemats and things like that, right? So I lent her one. I used the other one. But goodness sakes, it was so freaking hot. But I actually got to do some shopping, which was nice, and I sold out that day. At least that's what I'm telling people, because there's no way I was going to stand behind my table for an hour with 4 lavender jams for sale. No one's going to walk over and buy 4 lavender jams. It's just not going to happen. So anyway, overall, good market, screaming hot, was kind of Christmassy. But I don't really know where the whole Christmas in July thing originated. Maybe I have to do some research on that and find out. I already feel like Christmas gets too much time as it is. It's all of November and all of December. Like, settle down. So this week I went to the Grafton Inn Summer Mini Market on Wednesday evening. That's tonight. I'll report back on that next week. And I'm going to the Wellington Community Market on Saturday from 9 until 1 at 243 Main Street in Wellington. And just to reiterate, I'm going to the Wellington Community Market because I understand there's a Wellington Farmers Market, and I'm not going to that one. I'm going to the community market. So I'm going to get dish on that. I know it's outside of Northumberland County, but even though this is like the Northumberland Farmer Market podcast, I think it's important to know what's going on like just outside of it, because a lot of our people who are here are also venturing out there too, right? So I want to just keep current. And also, I heard it's a great market and they don't have a jam person. So really, I'm just doing my civic duty by taking jam to them. What if they're jamless? What was that? Oh, it was one of those cute little flies. There are these sweet little flies down here. They are so cute, and they drink blood. And that's partially why I like them. They're called drain flies, but they look like little hearts on the wall. Anyway, Google it. Their wings are cute little hearts. I think they're absolutely adorable. And they hang out in like damp places, which makes sense. All the pipes are down here. But I'm pretty sure they like drink blood. Also, I'm going to re-Google that and double check that I'm not just like spreading inaccurate information. Oh, okay. On a personal note, most farmers markets are filled with women. Okay. I have gone to my doctor's 4 times to get hormones because I'm a woman of a certain age now. But I'm at the very beginning of it, okay? And all he would prescribe me is birth control. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, no, thank you. So instead, I have found a website that covers all of Canada. If you need a nurse practitioner to prescribe you hormones anywhere in Canada, I am your girl. Contact me and I will send you the link to the website that I used. I've already talked to them on Tuesday last week. My medication was here by Friday and I'm already sleeping like a baby. Okay. I've had some really bad insomnia issues. So if you want information on that, you contact me and I will send it to you. No questions asked. Also, it's not illegal because they are like medical professionals, so it's fine. But yeah, I will give you the goods, babes. We got to look out for each other, eh? It took 4 times. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't want to like find a new doctor for it. So like, I got a little resourceful, and the main skill in radio is research. So if you need to find something or find someone, you let me know. If you'd like to co-host or just sponsor an episode of the NoCoFM podcast, please feel free to message me on Instagram at NoCoFM_podcast or NoCoFM_podcast at hotmail.com. It is a little bit more to co-host, like I said before, because I do have to edit a little bit more. But aside from that, it's a good experience. And you can tell people I've been on a podcast with an actual person who has a radio broadcasting diploma, which is not something a lot of podcasters can say, hilariously. My jam special this week is Peach Bellini with Champagne. And if I don't see you this weekend, I'll see you again next Friday at 10 a.m. So until then, happy weekend.